I thought I knew enough about tax to kind of brush it off to the side. Boy, was I completely wrong. So today let's talk about tax. So I've had a few questions in the past surrounding tax and owning a small business, and I'm talking about UK tax and small businesses. I know it might sound boring, but it's actually very important. As you guys know, on this channel I talk about running a press-on nail business, but let's get serious sometimes. So anytime I would get a question surrounding tax, I would literally brush it off and say, oh, you don't need to worry about tax until your business is earning over like £12,570 per year. That's the UK government income threshold for paying tax. And I was so wrong, and I feel so bad that I've only just learned this information. I mean, I should feel bad for myself because I've been playing around for 3 years when I should have been registered to pay tax. Let's fully get into it.
Now, disclaimer, I am not a tax professional, nor am I a financial advisor. I am just learning as I go and doing what I can and what was needed for my business. So I am just sharing my own personal information from my experience and what I read online from the official government website, which I will link below all my resources because, I mean, you also need to read it for yourself and decide what's best for your business.
So yeah, as I said, I only recently found this out. I was going through all my business information and trying to get all my bookkeeping together and finalize all my numbers for my business because I have been procrastinating for the longest time. And then I went on the .gov website. I could not believe what I was reading. It's like I read the website before so many times, but for some reason something finally clicked in my brain and I understood what I was reading. I didn't even know that before I wasn't understanding what I was reading, or maybe it was too much to take in that I kind of brushed it off. There are some key facts and some advice that I would like to share with you from what I've learned and the steps I've taken for my tax ever since learning those. So to make this video as easy to follow along with as possible and not so boring, I'm going to break it down into 4 parts. So a quick breakdown, Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3. So starting with a quick breakdown for those of you who might be new to tax or don't really understand it or know. In summary, tax is basically a way for the government to collect money from each working person to go towards things in the community and in the public that you see. So for example, transport, hospitals, roads, all those things that you don't really think about, they come from tax. You are considered a working person even if you're running your own business or side hustle, depending on how much that business is earning. So I'm going to read you the exact statement that I kept reading every time I would research about paying UK taxes and what actually confused me. You must register if you're self-employed as a sole trader and earned more than 1,000 before tax relief in the last tax year. So there's that, but hold on. So then when I was trying to figure out when a business needs to start paying tax, and I'm talking about a business, again, run by a sole person, just you and your business, whether it's a side hustle or not, when do you need to start paying tax? And the answer I would always get is the standard personal allowance is £12,570, which is the amount of income you do not have to pay tax on. Meaning, until your business starts earning over £12,570, you don't need to pay tax. That's it. That's when I would shut off my laptop and continue with my life because my business was definitely not earning more than £12,570, so I forgot about tax. Then when I came across this £1,000 register for tax thing I was reading, it really confused me until something clicked in my brain. Yes, it is true. If your business is not earning over £12,570, you do not have to pay tax. You are allowed to keep that money all to yourself because that is your personal allowance that the government is allowing you to keep tax free. Once your business makes over £1,000 in profits, so after your expenses, once your business hits that £1,000, you have to register. At the bare minimum, you have to register. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to pay anything. You just have to register. You just have to sign a form online to just let the government know that your business is doing okay, you're making money, and it's a way of just notifying them that like your business is making money and potentially one day you may pay tax if your business makes over the 12,570. I hope that makes sense because for me, for the longest time, it never made sense. I guess randomly it just clicked in my head. And that kind of made me freak out because I have not known this for the past, 1.5 years that my business was running back in 2021, going into 2022, and I had never registered, meaning I was behind in registering for my tax and I could have been liable to fines. Luckily, I've not been penalized because I was given a deadline when to submit my returns in before, and everything was fine. But yes, that's just a little breakdown slash backstory of how we came about to this video. I basically had a mini breakdown about my tax because even though I don't have to pay, I realized that like I never registered, and by law you have to register in the UK once your business makes over £1,000 in profits. Some other key points that I picked up during my research is that as a sole trader, which is what you'll be known as someone just running the business by yourself, you don't have to necessarily register your name or your business name. You can literally have your business as your own name, or you could have it as a name that you make up, of course within limits, but otherwise you can basically name your business whatever you want, and you don't have to officially register it unless you're a partnership or a company. But this isn't about that. I don't know how tax works for companies or for partnerships, so if that's what you're looking for, then please do your own research or seek actual professional tax advice, because that is not me and my experience. I'm just talking based off of a sole trader's perspective. So yes, for those of you who ask me if you need to register your business name, in the UK, no, you don't have to register your business name if you are a sole trader. Okay, so now I'm going to talk you through the 3-step process that I took after my mini breakdown about my tax. And it's actually super simple. I used to think you need to like hire a tax accountant or something, but in terms of the tax that I'm submitting, the income tax, it was very simple. You don't necessarily need to hire anybody, and if you're just smart about it, then you can likely do it yourself. Read carefully and look up anything you don't understand, but overall I really think it's a super simple, easy process that almost anybody can do. So yeah, I hope this will make it also easier to understand. So step number 1 is record everything. You know, on this channel, I always preach about your books. This is exactly why I made the business plan, and specifically if there's anything you download from my Etsy shop, then it has to be the financial planner. And this isn't even to promote the financial planner. You can use any sort of recording system that you prefer. I would just be happy if you at the bare minimum record your income and your expenses for your business from the jump. I have been saying this since day dot, even though my recording system used to be crazy. You guys know about my folders with all my receipts that I kept for every single order that I posted out, and the little spreadsheet that I had to record all my income from my Wix website, from Etsy, from the custom orders. I would record everything. Even though I didn't really know what I was doing, I knew that I had to have everything down, and 2-3 years later it's come in handy, because as I was submitting my tax return, all of that information came back, and I was so glad that back then I recorded everything. So at the bare minimum, you need to know from the start to the end everything that's coming to your business and everything that has gone out, so that you know your profits. You also need to know certain types of expenses, so you need to know your cost of goods sold, because on the tax return form they do ask for your cost of goods sold, if I'm not mistaken. I know that was a key point that I noted down that I had to know, because they did ask for it. I'm pretty sure they did. Yes, I'll try and put a description of what cost of goods sold is and examples and stuff, because I don't know if I can properly explain it right now. Yes, you must at the bare minimum know those. So if you have downloaded a business planner or the financial planner, you know that included you get the monthly sales log, monthly cost log, monthly everything that you need to note down. And the key point I want to note, especially with your expenses or your costs, have them in categories. So as you can see, this has a category section, so you need to know your general expenses and your cost of goods sold, which is basically your product cost, which is everything that goes into making your product, whereas your general expenses are just expenses that go into running your business, maybe day to day, like your website costs, your advertising costs and stuff like that. I know in my previous video where I talked about financially managing your business, I did show you a spreadsheet that I personally was using for my business, and at that point I didn't want to just give it out, because honestly it wasn't actually properly done. It was done in a way that only I could understand, and I could kind of put things together and mentally note different things. But it has always been in the back of my mind, like I would really love to give you guys the spreadsheet or something that you can use on Google Sheets or on Excel. So I have made a spreadsheet where you can easily and simply record your monthly income, your monthly expenses, and have the different categories for your types of income and your types of expenses. Also, I included a section where you can distinguish whether it's a cost of goods sold or if it's not, so that when it comes to submitting your tax return, that is already summarized and done for you. So yes guys, I'm just trying to make your lives easier because I know this has personally helped me. I didn't do all of this for nothing because it has literally helped me submit my tax returns, and now I'm not even worried about it, and it's something I'm going to be using for the rest of any future business endeavors. So yeah, I just thought I would share in case any of you would like to use the same system I'm using. Whatever you decide to use, if you decide to use something else, just please at least record your income, your expenses, however you prefer to do it. Just make sure it's done. So why exactly am I rambling on about this? Because it is so key. You cannot move on to steps 2 and 3 without this. So once you have got all your numbers together, your totals together for the year. Oh, and by the way, the tax year runs from the 5th of April every year to the 6th of April every next year. So let's say this year it's going to be from the 5th of April 2023 up until the 6th of April 2024, and that goes for every single year. That is what is known as a tax year in the UK. So yes, basically once you have all your numbers and your profits down, you need to look at your numbers from April to April. Has your business made over £1,000 from April the 5th to April the 6th of the next year? If the answer is yes, then you can continue on to step 2 in terms of registering. But if your answer is no, you don't have to register. By law, you don't have to register if you've made less than £1,000. If you haven't made over the 1,000, it still wouldn't hurt to register. It doesn't take anything away from you. If you're committed to running and growing your business, if anything, it just saves you time later on to registering for your tax, and you get to know and understand the system better. So yes, I will link below the financial planner and I'll link below the Excel. It also has a tax estimator. So if you're lucky enough to have a business that's doing over the 12,570, you can kind of estimate how much tax your business is going to pay. So once you figure out if you need to pay tax or not, and if you do need to pay tax, then you are ready to register. So registering comes before actually submitting your tax return. Okay, step number 2. I feel like I really rambled in step number 1, but trust me, it gets easier and simpler from here on out. There's really not much left to say. So step number 2 is registering as a sole trader. You can do this online or by the post, but I would recommend online. It's super quick. Go online onto the .gov website to register as a sole trader, and you don't need much, just obviously your personal information that the government already knows. They just want to verify it's you, and you will need your national insurance number, so make sure you have that ready. So once you register, you will be sent a taxpayer ID, which will be sent to you in the post, I think within 10 to 15 days. I think mine took like 8 days. It didn't take too long, and I honestly even forgot about it. So yes, you will be sent a taxpayer ID. It sounds like a long process, but that ID is what you will use to create a government gateway ID, which is basically just a login onto the government website. I don't know why they made it such a fancy name. It's just a login ID. That is literally step 2 done. Basically making an account on the government website for your tax. Finally, with step number 1 and 2 done, we are ready for step number 3, which is submitting your self-assessment tax form every single year. And you'll get reminded by email or by post when it's time to submit your tax forms. And at this point, I won't lie, I got like 3 letters in the post. One of them saying that I was late in terms of returning my 2021-2022 tax forms. So that was a bit scary because they did say that if I don't, I will be fined. But yes, pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, as I was submitting my forms, I did screen record some of the process just so that I could show you guys the types of things that will be asked on the forms. But it was nothing really crazy or scary or confusing. A lot of the things weren't even relevant to me. I just kept them blank, or I put NA, which is not applicable. So in summary, to file a return, the process is split up into subsections. So there's the welcome, tell us about you, tailor your return, fill in your return, check your return, review your calculation, save your return, submit your return. It sounds like a long process, but it's so easy. And as long as you have your numbers, like I said in step 1, then you can do all of this within 10 minutes. It's that quick. You basically have to give a little bit of information about your business, whatever your business is called, what you do, what you sell. I don't know, like just basic information that you can easily answer or tell people about. So for example, they're asking basic questions such as when your business started, whether you stopped your business or if it's continuing. So the key thing I want to talk about here is a section for your income and recording your expenses and stuff. So for turnover, you put in all your income before your expenses. So all the money earned by your business, you just put it all in together. So not your profits. Your turnover is different to your profits, so don't get that mixed up. Put in the raw figure of all the money your business has made. And then here we have this section which is trading income allowance. This is where the £1,000 figure I mentioned before comes in. So basically, I mean, I'll put up the information so you can read it yourself, but in summary, for someone like me who struggles to understand it in the beginning, you can either claim your trading allowance. So let's say you have a small business and your expenses were less than £1,000. You can, instead of submitting your low expenses, claim the £1,000 so that your profits appear lower. And if you're liable to tax, you won't pay as much tax. But if your expenses are more than £1,000, then it's obviously more worthwhile to just claim your business expenses and just leave the £1,000 trading allowance completely, because I mean your profits will naturally appear lower because you have so many costs. I really hope that makes sense. Hopefully if you play around with the tax calculator, you can see how trading allowance is applied or not applied and how it affects the profits. Now personally, for my business, my expenses were over £1,000, so I just claimed my expenses as normal and I deducted them as a single total value. I don't really know what detailed breakdown means or if it's necessary, but for me, I just clicked the total single value. That was basically it. That's how I submitted my tax return. Honestly, like I said, the rest of the tax form was just a case of me either not really clicking anything or just putting not applicable, because a lot of the things didn't really apply to me and my small business. I hope that makes it easier and less daunting. I do know if your business earns more than £85,000 a year, I mean, good for you if your business is doing that well. But if your business earns over £85,000 a year, then you have to pay VAT, so value added tax. But that's a whole other story. I'm pretty sure if your business is earning that much, then you can afford a tax accountant, okay? This is for us small business owners who just want to submit our little tax returns for our little profits. But yes, guys, that is basically it. That is the 3-step process. I hope it wasn't confusing. If there's anything you take away from this video, is please record your income and your expenses at the bare minimum. Whether you use one of my planners or not, or just a piece of paper, or you make your own Excel spreadsheet, just do it. If you believe in your business, you believe your business is going to grow, and one day you may have to pay tax, you don't want it to creep up on you and then you're scavenging around trying to find where all your information has gone. It also helps you take your business seriously and believe in yourself, and it gives you confidence. You feel like you're actually running a business. You feel like a boss babe. Get yourselves in order, guys. You will feel so much better for it and so much more organized. I will link everything I can below, so please do check out the description. And don't forget to share this video if you know anybody running a business in the UK. In terms of US tax, if anybody knows how that works, or if you can link me any information, then I would love to know, because otherwise I have no idea how US tax works. So please do comment below and let me know how the US tax system works for small businesses. I would love to know. That is all from me today. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.